Hello guys, July here again with another historical fun fact. Today we are going to talk about the Kharid gate, but before I get to that, a quick reminder that I uploaded a video a few days ago to explain why I have suddenly started to make videos again after being absent for almost 3 years. In that video I address several questions that quite a few of you have asked, and I also explain what my plans are for the future with this channel, so go check it out if you haven't yet. So then let's start with the historical fun fact for today, and that is that the Kharid gate did not exist at first. Alright, so what exactly the implications of that are is something that I will list at the end of the video. But first things first, so let's go back to 2001. So on the 4th of January, that is when RuneScape was launched. At that point, Kharid did not exist yet, so there was obviously no gate yet. Then the exact release date of Kharid is not known, but it was probably the 19th of January. Now if you go to the RuneScape wiki website, it will say it was the 21st of January, but that is almost certainly incorrect because that is when the newsletter was released, which listed all of the new updates that had happened in the past couple of days. Right, so the newsletter was not a list of updates that had happened on that specific date. It looks like the 19th of January is the most probable release date. So then when Kharid was added to the game, the gate was not included in the update. One of the consequences of that is that any player who wanted to get from Lumbridge to Kharid or the other way around had to walk all the way around via the north, which is what I'm doing right now. And then once arrived at the T-junction just south of Varrock, the player had to walk all the way back, but then at the other side of the fence. So at this point you might wonder why I am walking instead of running. And that is because at that point the option to run did not exist yet. In fact, it would not be added to the game until the launch of RuneScape 2 in 2004, so that's 3 years later. So if you want to get from one side to the other, so let's say from this spot to that spot, without using the gate, it would take you 2 minutes and 15 seconds. That is a very long time, right? And then you're not even at a bank yet, because that's something else to consider. There was no bank in Lumbridge and no bank in Kharid at that point, okay? So the nearest bank to Kharid was the one in Varrock near the anvils. And some of you might remember that getting there was not a walk in the park, because you would have to get past the dark wizards, and that was not fun at all if you had a low combat level. Nevertheless, you might be inclined to think, so why not just teleport there? And that's a good question, but of course, and I'm guessing this is not a complete surprise, teleportation spells were actually released after the Kharid gate. So using teleportation spells to get to Varrock or to Lumbridge was just not an option. And of course, I assume that most of you know this, also the Lumbridge home teleport spell did not exist yet. With that being said, Kharid still lacked a lot of content at that point. In fact, the only reason why you wanted to be there before the gate was added to the game was to travel back and forth between the mine that is situated in the very north. So most people did not travel all the way into Kharid. So in that sense, the absence of the Kharid gate was not a complete disaster, but it obviously did not help. So then, when was the gate added to the game? That happened together with the Prince Ali rescue quest on the final day of February, which means that Kharid was without a gate for just under a month and a half. Okay, so that was my historical fun fact for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and then we will see each other again in the next video.